Life is made of cycles, and nobody knows it better than Hideo Kojima. Metal Gear Solid, masterpiece, killer application, the mostest game that ever mosted on PS1. Metal Gear Solid 2, masterpiece, but everybody hated it because you play as a twink that sleeps on bonanzas. Metal Gear Solid 3, masterpiece, the most snakes since snakes on a plane, but the plane is a guy that spits bees. Metal Gear Solid 4, masterpiece, but everybody hated it because two dudes kiss each other, and that's so gay. Metal Gear Solid 5 though, now that's one everybody loved. Gameplay so fun you could even ignore the crappy plot. So I wasn't surprised when everyone hated Death Stranding for being a walking simulator, because a true gamer can't relate to such a foreign alien activity. Come Death Stranding 2? Of course, suddenly all players seem on board. All I'm saying is, I don't expect things to go too well for the next. Death Stranding 2 doesn't feel much different from the original for a good chunk of time, but it's the little things that manage to make you invested much faster. The rocks look better than the real-life counterparts, and Hideo's playlist is playing in the background. There's earthquakes and avalanches while Hideo's playlist is playing in the background. But most of all, there's the BB, which is now Big BB, and sometimes Hideo's playlist is playing in the background. Despite being famous for his long cutscenes, Kojima's greatest talent is being able to create emotional connections through gameplay. That earthquake from before feels like a genuine threat because I don't want to fall and hurt BBB. When I crossed the most evil amusement park since Disney World, I didn't need a random NPC to explain to me this is a very sad place where Italians shoot you on sight. Seeing a random kangaroo hopping around under the night sky made me hungry, but also reminded me that this dying world is not giving up. Life, finds a roadway. But the question lingered: how do you make post-apocalyptic Amazon Prime better than what Death Stranding 1 did?
Hey! Whoa, slow down! What the?
How about we make it fun? What? Make it fun. Extreme.
What if I throw
That.
I'm onto you, I'm onto you, I'm onto you, I'm onto you.
Pikachu.
Now don't look up, don't look up. Should have looked up. I can do this. I can defy the laws of physics. I can do this. I can't. Okay, what if I do this and... Alright, shut up. I need to think. Okay. 1, 2, yeah. I'm stranding.
Ooh, big boy.
Suck my RoboKnob. Shit. Touch the doggy. Jump!
Who's a walking simulator now, huh? Who's a walking simulator? Just as I thought.
Pecco.
Huh?
Pecco.
What?
Pecco.
Is my guy broken?
Pecco.
Atsu, what?
Go Pecco.
Is this what the head does?
Pecco.
It gives him
Pecco.
brain damage?
Pecco.
Taste my anime pizza! Oh, this guy is so dead. He's so dead. Alright. Shh. Anime!
Death Stranding had many rivers, but it still lacked a proper flow. Scaling mountains felt challenging.
Trekking through the wilderness
Was oddly relaxing, but it was missing peaks and dips. It was a soothing lo-fi track, consistent, engaging, but it struggled to explode, and when it tried, it usually was with the boss fights. Now that's no longer a problem because you can actually shoot people. It's an exciting, high-tempo classical piece.
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Hideo Kojima has the biggest ego in the entire video game industry, but he's also the only man who can rightfully have the biggest ego in the entire video game industry.
Like, judging by your reaction, you've never heard of Kojima Productions? Sam, you can't be serious.
Because no one can take the piss in such spectacular way. There is no game that can afford to produce these ultra-detailed, incredibly serious and professionally performed cutscenes and then completely debase itself with the goofiest combat mechanics ever.
You think you're hunting me, aren't you? Let me show you my
What you looking for, dumbass?
Ombofiler. Come on, doggy. Doggy, use electroshock! Who let the dogs out?
You can go from an extremely in-depth explanation of what amino acids float inside the goo-goo dark seas to surfing on board of a high-tech coffin from hell, the likes of which I've never seen since Metal Gear Hawk Proving Grounds 2. Whether it's building a bridge or fighting beach things while connected to a bridge baby, more than its predecessor, Death Stranding 2 has the unique power of perfectly pacing itself according to the player's needs. You can shoot straight to your main objective, delivery after delivery, and be guaranteed something weird will happen.
God damn.
Is this how people make pizza in Australia?
Or you can sit down, take it slowly. Embrace the calm silence of the Death Stranding 2 is Kojima leveraging everything his team has developed in the first game to inject a lifelong catalog of every single thing, every single song, every single movie he's loved and cherished. It's the most grandiose and entertaining example of creative masturbation I've ever seen.
I don't think you got them all in the shot, Sam.
Yet, not even Hideo Kojima can ever defeat his greatest enemy, Hideo Kojima. People are still hung up on the names this guy comes up for the characters, but that's honestly the least of my problems. It's been a staple of his since forever. Decoy Octopus, the guy who could perfectly mimic other people's appearances, and he makes a cameo here. Vamp was a vampire. Fat Man planted bombs and was fat. Fear, the Spider-Man. Grey Fox was grey. The boss was bossy. Ocelot. So I really don't care about Die Hard Man or Dead Man, who's now Truman Show Man. And I'm glad that tradition has been kept with Tar Man, who can navigate tar, Doll Man, who's a doll, Rainy, who doesn't like eggs. But when he came to find a name for the character played by Elle Fanning, Kojima was out of ideas, so he said, don't worry, I'll think about it
tomorrow.
And he never thought about it again. My real gripe is how every single human being on planet Earth is still a brain-dead zombie whose life essence has been sucked out and blasted into the sun. When you meet Fragile at the start, she has the same warmth and friendliness of a serial killer.
Access your ring terminal to view the map. From here you can check order details, as well as the cargo for delivery.
Your itinerary is being recalculated. You are driving in the wrong direction.
Kojima Production has reached the peak of human models' graphical fidelity, and Hideo clearly hated it so much he decided to create the first example of spoken Uncanny Valley. Every dialogue exists in two separate realities, almost like the characters were still relying on holographic messages rather than being in the same room. We see the female cast bonding, but that mostly happens off-screen, and Sam looks like an out-of-place grandpa barging into the conversation and making it weird.
It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Okay.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning.
And death is not the end.
Death is not the end.
There are moments where Sam thankfully gets to share his emotions and doubts with others, but every interaction he has seems like one you'd have with your therapist rather than with a friend or a crewmate. It tells me it's a dramatic moment, but I don't think what's happening on screen matches that vibe. What's even stranger is that this is not a condition that applies to all characters. Higgs' unhinged hijinks are an absolute delight, and Metal Pizza Man's performance sounds genuine and heartfelt, but the majority of the time you're forced to listen to a bunch of eternally cheerful individuals who can just point you to the next step in a journey that has Sam facing his greatest challenge yet.
We want to build a world where even the weakest among us have a chance. A world where people...
The Australian accent. And that doesn't even begin to describe the utter contempt I feel for fucking Dollman. If Kojima games always felt the need to systematically explain every piece of lore there is, like the real identity of Gustava Hefner, an undercover agent for the Czech secret police who fell in love with Frank Jaeger,
It's like one of my Japanese animes.
Dollman is here to painstakingly describe the events as they happen, in real time. You're watching a brief cutscene and you can understand what's going on. No words are needed. The writer respects the player's intelligence to understand what...
By the way, Sam, you saw Tomorrow with the apples in the corridor, right? It seems she was training, trying to gain more control over her temporal...
Fucking little bastard.
Just passing through!
Even during the final boss fight, he still feels the need to explain to you why you're fighting, what you're fighting, and how exactly the fight will play out. And that's a shame, because the ending is incredible. But again, it feels out of place. It carries incredible pathos. But I barely got to truly know its cast. There are 4 Metal Gear Solid 2 level of plot twists, but so many Deus Ex Machinas pop up, and the only explanation for those is that the beach, you know, the beach does stuff. Wanna shoot lasers? Sure you can.
I'm sorry, but what in the world is going on?
Nothing that makes any sense.
But it's still a story that has something profound to say, and Kojima being Kojima, he poses questions society as a whole is dealing with right now about connecting with each other. It sounds incredibly cliché to say it, but Death Stranding 2 is still about the journey and not the destination. The final act really is just a good cheesecake. It tastes great, it's got that sweet caramel topping, you know I love that shit. But if you eat just that slice, it goes away quickly. And that's why you need your full course to fully appreciate it. Mexico is your starter, a tasty beef tartare. It's familiar, but satisfying, and it opens the path to the mussel soup. The rivers are the soup. It doesn't fill you too much, but the contrast in flavor keeps your taste buds active and receptive. It's planting your ladders, discovering new paths, sometimes very dangerous ones, you gotta be careful not to stain your new white shirt. The French bread slices served with salted butter are the palate cleanser that serve as a break before moving on to the main meal. Those are your prepper houses and distribution centers, your pit stops where you can reflect on your achievements so far. Finally, you get your roast duck with potatoes, but if you're not into that, we can still bring you the pizza. It's the explosion of taste that comes from seeing all these bridges and the ziplines and the cannons populating the world of Death Stranding. It's the most complex dish of the whole meal and the one you savor for longer. It's the part you want to remember the most about the entire dining experience. The part where the duck comes out of the water and starts shooting at you from the sky. But you also gotta be careful of not swallowing pieces of bones. Those can hurt you, and it reminds you that even the best things in life can hide unexpected threats. Only then you are ready for the waiter to describe to you what your journey was all about and lecture you for 10 minutes straight about the risks of enjoying fine dining. You like those potatoes, but have you considered how many potato trees have died for you to eat them? Are you appreciating your food and considering what bringing it to your plate cost in the first place? It all brings us back to the first question you're asked when you boot up the game. Should we have connected?
完璧抑えられるブーツそして AI カモフラの柄をプレゼント for you
Yeah.